I want us to wrap up this conversation by doing a bit of a segment that I call three, two, one. So I would like you to share three albums that have been instrumental for you, two saxophone players that have been instrumental, and then leave the audience with one piece of advice.
Sure. Okay. So first three
The
albums.
albums, yeah.
Even that's a hard question. Jesus. Just three? Okay. If I had to say the first one, it would probably be Cannibal Adderley Something Else.
Ah,
Um, just I mean, still to this day, I mean that album is just a piece of art. It's just exquisite. Every
yeah,
single note,
yeah,
everybody's sound. There isn't a single note or phrase or anything out of place on that whole album. It's just
yeah,
incredible. But specifically, that's one of the first albums I ever heard when I first started playing the saxophone, and I heard Cannonball Sound, and I was just like,
yeah.
"What?" You know? So yeah, for me, that's still like the pinnacle of how the alto should sound. That album, really,
Right.
Cannonball in general, but specifically that album.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, so that's one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another one that I think is super for me, super influential is I mean, there's many of his albums, but my man here, John Coltrane, Newport '63.
Yep,
That
yep, yep.
album for me, just it's the live energy of it, and
Mm-hmm.
the emotion and the heart that he plays with
Yeah,
in general. But that album, like, just to evoke that and get that to come out and to transfer that to your audience, and hopefully if I could, my idea is if I can make the audience feel the way that I felt when I listened to that album,
mm-hmm.
that's a pretty good goal to always reach for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Emotionally, man, like every single thing on that album just like hits me smack in the heart.
Wow, yeah.
I could say the same thing for something else too. So yeah, I number three, oof, man, that's tough because I could go in so many ways. I guess, hmm, I really, really like Joe Henderson, Page One. That's really
Okay.
far up on my list too. Kind of for all the reasons I mentioned about the other albums, and
Yeah.
I absolutely love Joe Henderson's compositions. I love how melodic and how grooving his tunes always are. The playing, the sound, the uh,
Mm-hmm.
the explorative harmonic way that he plays.
Yeah.
He doesn't really sound like anybody else. He's coming from all those other guys, but Joe
Mm-hmm.
Henderson's very different. Rhythmically, he's not on the grid. Harmonically, he's really kind of all over the place in the slickest of ways. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and those are my top guys, right? Cannonball, Train, and Joe. So
Okay.
got to pick
Good
an
to
album
know.
out of each of them. I could,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
10 more of each. It's hard. This is hard to just say.
Yeah.
But okay, so now the next question was to
Two
say
players.
two
But
players.
you kind
Okay,
of you kind of already mentioned two.
so I guess I kind of covered this one.
Yeah, you cover that one. Yeah.
If I had to say, if I had to say two, it would be Train and Cannonball,
Right.
though,
Okay.
just from an influence point.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Henderson is every bit as amazing, but his influence, I guess, doesn't hit me as it's in more nuanced ways about improvising.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Train, it's the emotion. Cannonball, also the emotion too, but the sound. So those things are I just for me are the prime importance. That's what we're doing when we're playing music. We're evoking emotion. We're trying to elicit emotion. We're trying to appeal to people. So those guys for me hit me harder than anyone else.
Yeah. Amazing. And leave us with one piece of advice.
Yeah, wow. One piece of advice. Just the quicker you can accept the fact that you need to work hard on something, that's your shortcut. There is no shortcut. There's no pill you can swallow. It's just hard work and a positive attitude. Yeah, especially, well, both of those things, but a positive, you can work really hard, but if you have a negative attitude, it's not going to work out for you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you have to be a sponge. You have to take it all in. You have to adapt to certain situations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to be like water. You have to be flexible. You have to take things as they come. You roll with the punches.
Yeah.
That's just part of being a musician. It doesn't. You don't. It's not a luxurious lifestyle. Unless you're like one of like like a 0.1% of musicians. Not every gig is just the exact ideal gig. There's things you have to be open-minded. You have to understand that, okay, this isn't the music that I want to always play, but there's a lot about this that I like, and there's a lot of things that I can take away from this experience. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just a life thing, that you can apply
Yeah.
that to any other facet of life.